I use ChatGPT every day.
It's one of the tools I find myself using most.
Now everything is claiming to be AI.
Welcome to the Editing Lounge.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of the Editing Lounge podcast. All right, today's going to be a spicy episode.
Spicy.
Talking about all
I don't
things.
do good with spice.
You don't do good with
No,
spice?
I'm actually like low spice.
Okay.
All right.
Well, sorry for you. This one's going to be great.
Okay, sure. Go on.
We're talking about all things AI.
AI.
No, I don't mean Adobe Illustrator. No, I don't mean ant inspection. I mean artificial intelligence.
That was really good.
Yeah, you
I like
that?
Did you come up with that all by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
That was a great joke.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
so
it.
smart.
Yeah.
I know.
We were actually talking before the show, and I was going to do that joke, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You can take it.
I'm just better at delivering it.
Yeah, you're the funny guy. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'll be the serious guy.
Okay.
The guy with knowledge.
Yeah, you want to be the fool or the master?
Yeah, you're the Joker. I'm the king.
Okay.
And Luke is
Moving
my
on.
queen.
Okay.
We are really, this is a totally different tune than the first one.
We're going to talk about AI today.
Yeah, specifically for anything editing wise.
Content creation.
I'm a huge AI guy.
Yeah, we know you are.
Yeah, I use it pretty much every single day. That's kind of my thing.
I'm not convinced you yourself aren't an AI.
It's very
being.
possible.
Yeah.
You could
very
be a
possible.
robot by now.
Yeah.
So we have 6 must-have AI tools for your editing workflow that we're going to talk about. And then we're also just going to have a broader discussion about
The future of AI.
Yeah, and how it relates to video editing. Is it the future of the industry?
Yep.
Are we all going to lose our jobs? Maybe.
That's scary.
That's
possible.
scary. It could be. I mean, we could be replaced by robots.
Yep.
We don't know. We're going to talk about it. But before we get into the broader conversation, we're just going to go through some of these editing tools that are AI that we've all incorporated into our daily workflow.
Yep.
Very beneficial tools. Luke, we'll have you start. How do you use ChatGPT? That's our first tool. ChatGPT, very broad tool.
Yes.
How do you use that in your editing workflows? And what is it?
The way I look at ChatGPT is it's almost like Google, but you're having a conversation with it.
ChatGPT to me is kind of like the Mac Daddy of all the AIs, right? It is the most encompassing one. It's the one that can do the most things
Yeah.
and help you, I think, in every area of production, right? So it can help you in pre-production by asking it for ideas and helping with creative, helping you flesh out ideas.
Yep.
Say you have an idea, but you don't really have all the details yet. You can ask ChatGPT like, hey, I have this idea for a video concept about, I don't know, making 100 basketballs in various basketball goals or whatever your concept is.
Right.
You can ask it to help you develop that idea into a more full idea for your video, right? And then you can go from beyond that to help you in the editing part of things by asking it questions about what to include or what not to include.
Sure.
And then even afterwards, it can help you with title, what to call the video, when to post it, that kind of thing.
And that's why, like the LA, the whole strike, the writer's strike,
Yeah.
ChatGPT was like a big
Oh, that's right.
foundation of that.
Yeah, totally.
Because you can write full scripts for video and stuff. It'll do it for you. Granted,
Yeah.
it might not
Yeah.
be as good as someone who's actually good at it writing
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah,
you can do it in way less time and you don't have to pay anything, essentially.
So ChatGPT is a tool that we use for pre, post, whatever, a bunch of different use cases, not even just in the editing world, in general life.
For those who haven't used it before, I highly recommend just going on.
Yeah, just
and
play around
making
with
an
it.
account
It's
and just
unbelievable.
ask
Yeah.
it questions about anything. It doesn't even have to be editing related. Just use the tool,
Yep.
and you'll quickly see
Daily tasks,
how
do
powerful it is.
workout routines,
Yes.
schedule routines.
Yeah.
And you can get super technical, like how I've used it specifically for motion graphics is you can ask it to script full-on expressions
Yeah.
and just copy and paste those
Yep.
in After Effects. It can
It's
give
basically-
you ideas on how to do effects.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
an interactive Google
Yep,
that
yep,
you can ask questions about the results, right? Google, you type in what you want to know after.
You have to find the
After
information
Effects.
yourself.
You find it yourself. You do a little digging. You can copy and paste it. This, you can ask it questions back. So here's your results.
Yep.
Okay, well, I have a question about this specific expression, or how do I modify this expression? And it'll feed you new information based on your questions. I mean, very powerful stuff.
As sci-fi as this might sound, when you look at ChatGPT, for example, and think of it as like a person, but with tons of intelligence,
Yeah, like myself.
yeah, well, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably Antonio. He's smarter than me.
Yeah.
it becomes a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Basically, is what I'm saying.
It's kind of like the internet before it was the internet as we know it today, right? Think of the current internet as being at that point, and ChatGPT is now the next iteration of it.
And there was AI before ChatGPT.
Yeah,
It just wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And when ChatGPT came out, it just blew
Opened
everybody's
up the
socks
Yeah,
off.
Pandora's
and now you have
box,
big
yeah.
brands competing with it, like Google or whatever else, right?
Yeah. Ever since ChatGPT came out as well, now everything is claiming to be AI, and
Yeah, it's kind of a
It's
buzzword.
a buzzword
yeah,
for
you
sure.
have no idea what is actually AI or what
Right,
is like someone's actual software
Yeah,
that
that's a good point.
developers programmed.
Yeah. I remember a while back, whenever Dolly kind of first came out to the public, it was like laughably bad. Or how about the Will Smith spaghetti video? Have you guys seen that
Yeah,
one?
No.
Yeah.
Oh
I haven't
my
seen that.
gosh,
We'll pull
it's
that one
hilarious.
up. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's one of the first.
It's one of the
ever-
first ever like video
Yeah.
generations, I think, from
I
AI.
think I know what you're talking about.
It's
Like
really
the-
funny.
Yeah.
Versus now, you have OpenAI's Sora. Sora is their new video model. And honestly, it's going to put, in my opinion, it's going to put out companies out of business.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
There's one on there that's like a drone shot of like a beach.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't tell me that was AI, I wouldn't know until I looked like really deep into it.
Yeah.
Like we're getting so close to this stuff being like, can you imagine like editing a video and no longer needing to search for B-roll?
Yeah. Like within a year, I think stock footage will cease to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think I agree about
And
that.
people make a lot
Yeah.
of money off of those
Yeah.
sites, like Adobe.
Right. Yeah, I saw the examples that they put out on Twitter
Yeah.
the other day, and I mean they were impressive. It was
Yeah.
just text saying like, "Hey, show me a shot of these two people walking through a Japanese city at this
Mm-hmm.
hour. I would like whatever kinds of trees along, and they're walking past a coffee shop. I want it to be a high angle, swoop down to low, and it did it.
Like
It did it.
In my opinion, it also puts people in like visual effects industry kind of at risk. Because if you can just type something in and have it within seconds and then be able to like talk to it and change, like I know like that shot you had pull up there, in that shot I saw someone take that truck and turn it into like a tiger running down the road. And so it keeps the same shot, but it's like a tiger instead of a car.
Yeah.
The fact you can do that like that is wild. It's
Right.
it's kind of how I felt when Midjourney came out. Now that's just still, obviously they might be doing a video model soon. But I remember like typing stuff in and being bewildered by the kind of results you would get.
Yeah, something that's also funny is it's not there yet. Like ChatGPT, the video model is very good, but
It's not quite
it'll
there.
be amazing when it can do like people moving, like
Right.
the intricate hand motions and gestures. Like right
Yeah.
now, they're just like
Yeah, they don't know what to do with their hands.
spaghetti hot dog hands. you
Yeah.
know? But when that comes out, like you will not be able to tell.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're-
it sounds crazy. I've been saying this for a while now, and no one believed me, and I will stick to it. I think we will eventually have completely made AI content. The music, the dialogue, the visual, everything is going to be solely AI made. I think people will watch it. I think we're headed towards that being a reality. Seeing the Sora model, absolutely.
Just how far it's come within literally a year and a half is,
Yeah.
Right.
is
I mean,
shocking.
It's been something that's been around for a while, but it's just now being fully opened up,
Yeah.
right? We're in the wild west of AI, and it's just we're still at the very beginning, and that's the scary part is how powerful this stuff
Right.
is right now.
It's a
and just
very
knowing
fun
we're
time.
early on, yeah.
Yeah, like every week I feel like there's a new tool coming out that I use.
Yeah, this is like the first iPhone. If you think back to the first iPhone,
Yeah.
it didn't have very many things, right? It was revolutionary. It had the touch screen. It was a phone and an iPod in one. It didn't have a web browser. It didn't have a lot of the things that our iPhones have today.
Right.
Just think about that same development over the past 10, 15 years. That is also going to happen in AI.
Yeah.
And these tools are going to be very powerful and scary.
Yeah, there's definitely some
Yeah.
scary implications with it, but as of now, it's fun. I'm having a good time using
That's
them.
great. Enjoy it.
Yeah. That's just barely scratching the surface of ChatGPT as our first tool. Our second tool we're going to talk about is 11 Labs.
Great
I
tool.
love that one.
Great software. And whenever I use it, I feel like it blows people's minds. It basically is able to take someone's voice and clone it off a very short recording. The results vary, but sometimes you get really, really accurate results.
Yeah, it's at its purest form. It is a text-to-speech tool. Correct?
Exactly. And now
But-
there's speech to speech too, actually.
Yeah, it's much deeper than that. I mean, you can go text to speech, choose any voice you want, and it comes out sounding like a human, and that it has the same cadence of sentence structure and that kind of thing.
The way I look at it is it's like putting a skin on top of your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
Oh,
it's-
like a
it's
Fortnite
incredible.
skin.
Yeah.
You could say that. Depends on what audience we're catering to here.
I'm right now going to be talking, and in the edit, I'm going to record. I'm going to take a sample from my voice and put someone else's voice over. So right now, I'll sound different to you guys.
Oh, you do sound different.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to switch it back,
And so now it's off.
Wow.
That's just my normal voice.
That's cool.
Wow.
and we're back on, baby. I'm going to do it in the edit. I'm just going to
This is not for
that's
camera.
great. I mean, 11 Labs, it's one of the tools I find myself using most.
Yeah.
I'll use it more for temporary VO placeholders, right?
Yeah.
So for editing a video, I need a VO to go in this spot. I'll type it into 11 Labs, tell it what kind of voice I want it to have, download that, throw that in the edit until I can get the actual VO later on. But I mean, like you're saying, yeah, you can record somebody's voice, right? If we took my voice for this 40-minute podcast, 30-minute podcast, threw that audio file into 11 Labs, you could then type out any text and have
you
me
say it.
saying anything you type
Yep.
in my voice.
I've used it multiple times in Dude Perfect videos without anyone knowing. No one's caught it.
I did not know that.
Where I need a voiceover and I don't have the guys. I don't want to, get the mic out and record their voice. I already have their voice saved, and I just type it in, which they're thankful for because it takes extra time to actually sit them down and do that.
For the record, please don't do that with my voice. Nobody download that file and upload it because where does that fall on the ethical standpoint?
I know
Like, do you have
that's
to
a lot. That's a
consent
big
to your-
conversation with AI. Like
yeah.
originality, stolen work.
Yeah.
Like if you're using Midjourney, for example, it's taking a bunch of photos online and combining them. So is it something original now? Like, at what point is it original content?
In the near future, there's got to be some sort of metadata on those type of files.
Yeah, I know ChatGPT with like DALL-E just came out with that. So now every single AI made image has like in the metadata, it says it's made by DALL-E, which is great.
I just wonder if people can remove that. You think?
You can't.
I don't know.
You can't alter the metadata, but you can. Like, let's say if you were to download an image to your phone and then take a screenshot of that image, well, the
it's gone.
screenshot
Right.
doesn't have the metadata.
Right,
anymore.
it's gone.
So it's just one of those things that's not well regulated yet, and
I don't know how we're going to regulate it.
Yeah, we don't know how, but I imagine at some point it will be regulated in some capacity, whether that's these companies that do it or the government steps in.
Yeah.
Who
It's
knows?
a bit like the Wild West right now.
Yeah, but 11 Labs. So that was our second tool. Anything else on 11 Labs? We recommend you going online, checking it out. So while we're on the topic of AI audio, we can jump into our next tool, which is Adobe Podcast. Fairly new tool that Adobe has put out.
Yeah.
And basically its function is to take audio that doesn't sound great, whether it's recorded on your phone or maybe just a microphone, maybe you have lots of wind noise, other noise. You plug that into this Adobe Podcast software and it'll make you sound like this, like you're talking on a podcast. So for example, if I were to go on my phone right now and record a video, and let's say, this is how the phone audio sounds, it's not too good, not too clear. You can plug that into Adobe Podcast, and now all of a sudden it would sound something like this.
I can't wait to hear what that sounds like.
I hope that sounds good.
Yeah.
We have not tested that.
Oh, we'll
but
see.
Yeah.
We'll see in the edit.
Yeah, I've used this tool a lot just for taking audio that was recorded on lav microphones, but maybe there's just wind noise, excess noise. Maybe it's, messing up against the shirt a little bit. It's just not the clearest of audio. And you plug it into Adobe Podcast, give it a second, and it'll spit out, great sounding audio. I've had really good success with it.
I wonder if it's like their model is using like an EQ, like that's like I know that's a music production term, but like shaping the low end, like taking out the high frequencies, the harsh frequencies. I wonder if that's like what it takes, like
to
make
I
a
don't really
tool
know.
like that.
I know this is a lot of stuff you can do manually, like inside of Audition.
That's what I
right?
mean. It's just like a lot of manual steps, but in a one
Just
click.
doing it generated.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before, and you go to Audition, you can capture the noise print to kind of take out the background air
Correct.
conditioner, or
It's just skipping all those
It
steps.
skips it all. It just makes it easier. And I think
That's crazy.
that's the theme for all of these tools, right? These are things that you can do as an editor, right? You don't need these tools, but they are something to help speed up your workflow and help you more efficiently. Yeah.
No doubt. Another tool we use is Midjourney. I will actually use that for visual effects in a video. So like if I have explosions in a video, I'll type in explosions and get a PNG of it and then put that in the video. Before I'd have to search on Google or make my own in Illustrator, whatever it was. Now it takes 5 seconds to create a bunch of different renditions I can plug in and use, which is great.
So for people who have not heard of Midjourney before, what is it? What's its main
So
function?
Midjourney is basically it's an AI visual model. It's all above my head. I just use the tools. It basically generates images based off text you input.
Yeah.
You can choose different styles like photorealistic or animation style.
It has an image prompt where you type /imagine.
Yeah.
You type whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you can be as specific or as unspecific as you want, and it spits out 4 images and like gives you a range to choose from.
Yeah,
And then
so-
you can from that point you can go in and choose which image you like, and then expand upon that or upscale it, whatever you want, or you can like re-roll and it'll produce a whole nother like set of images
Yeah.
for you.
So let's just test this right now on the podcast. Give me a prompt I can use.
Give me a coffee shop in Italy at sunset, and I want to be looking out the window towards the beach. That sounds nice.
That sounds great.
Yeah. And so what Luke is doing is he's typing this into Midjourney. He types in what I said. So coffee shop, looking out of window towards the beach, stunning, beautiful, photorealistic, and he's going to send that into Midjourney.
Yep.
And it's going to generate that image that was in my mind.
Yep.
And generate it. It's going to give you 4 options.
It's
and
kind of
say,
a great
hey,
way to kind of conceptualize ideas. So
Yeah.
if you're talking with somebody, the fact that you can speak and then within basically under a minute, you can show them something similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty cool
Yeah,
tool.
it does it in less time it takes for me to brush my teeth every night.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So if you're listening right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything like that, you're not going to be able to see this, but it is on our YouTube page. We are recording this and showing, the images as we go along. So feel free to check that out. Subscribe if you want to see that. As Midjourney's, it's almost done spitting it out right now.
Yep. You
Wow.
can see it process. It's really fun to watch, actually.
Yeah,
And there it is. So it gives you
Wow.
4 different renditions.
Jeez.
that's great. That's beautiful.
Which one do you like the best?
I kind of like the bottom left one.
Bottom left? Okay.
Yeah,
So
that one's sweet.
The cool part about this is you can tell it you like the bottom left one, and then just like ChatGPT, you can give it feedback. Like, hey, this is great, but I was picturing a little more, whatever it may be. I want people in this image. I want it to feel a little more lively.
Yeah.
You can tell Midjourney that, and it'll generate you a new image based on that feedback.
I think the craziest thing is how it produces lighting because it can capture highlights and shadows instantly, like very well. Where in Photoshop, if you're doing like photo composition, photo manipulation, you have to do all that yourself. You have to do that
Right.
with brushes.
Yeah.
You have to like add like atmospheric fog if you want
Right.
like an environment, and this
Yeah.
does it for you in
That's
just
impressive.
words.
Midjourney is great for actually making a brand new image. It's pretty darn good. There's also another tool that's in Photoshop, another Adobe, AI tool, Generative Fill.
Yeah.
It is
dude.
mind-blowing how
It's
good it
taking
is.
the world by storm right
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
You can expand edges of a frame. You can add whatever you want. You
Yeah.
can keep going forever. And it matches lighting, composition,
Yeah.
elements in the frame. It's just unreal how good it is. You can go in there and I can take a picture of you and put a crown on your head like that in a still image.
Yeah, so the difference for me is I'll use Midjourney to help with either storyboarding, to help me to show angles that I'm thinking of in my mind to other filmers and that kind of thing. Use it to help with thumbnail ideation and stuff like that. Those are for images that don't exist, creating them. Generative fill in Photoshop for me is about, just like what Photoshop's always been about, making the image that you already have, making it better.
Yeah.
And that's generative fill, right? So you can make something that is not there, you can make it appear there with fair ease. So, we can have an image that we took on a real camera for a thumbnail and say, well, this is really good, but I want to add a dragon in the background. You can add a dragon right there in Photoshop.
Like you just don't need to use like half the tools on the sidebar anymore.
Right.
And again, this is something that speeds up your workflow, right?
Yeah.
You can add all these things in Photoshop like you always could. This is just doing it AI generated much quicker. you
And
know?
it gives you multiple options too. It's not like it's
Yeah,
one.
it's
You can
quick.
filter through them.
Yeah.
I like using it for locked off shots. Right now on the wide angle, I can actually punch out because the camera's locked off and you'll see it'll generate stuff around us. So it's like we're in a different room. So
Yeah. Oh,
if I
we're
want to do like a
wow.
spaceship.
We're still going.
We're on a spaceship right now?
Yeah, we're in a spaceship. Looks like
No
we're in outer
way.
space. It probably looks pretty
Wow.
good, doesn't it?
That's cool.
That's a cool
I don't
effect,
know.
isn't it?
I hope it looks good. All right, let's keep moving here. We're kind of powering through these now. So we talked about Midjourney and Photoshop Generative Fill. The next tool, which is one we are very familiar with and are actually using right now, is Autopod. So that is a feature inside of Premiere Pro that is for editing podcasts. So what you can do is feed it what we have right now, 3 different cameras, 3 different speakers, tell it which camera is on which speaker, and it'll go through and cut angles for you and basically edit the podcast for you.
Yeah. I'll put a clip in of it editing this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see it cutting through and choosing what angle to cut to based off who's speaking. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
multiple people are speaking. It'll cut to the wide angle.
Yeah.
But now I'm the only one talking. Maybe it cuts to this angle over here.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's again something that saves you time in your editing workflow.
100%. It'll leave all like the ums and like little like things there, but there's gonna be a time where you can say like, hey, just take all the ums out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Descript is a software that we actually might have that actually does that.
Wow.
If you have ums and buts, it'll edit it out and like fill it. I don't even know how it works, dude.
I mean, it's again, it doesn't do all the work for you, but it, like
Yeah.
Antonio was saying, it does 90%, right? It does the podcast cutting of angles. You still have to go through and take out our bad takes and stuff like that.
I have no hesitations for using AI to speed up your workflow.
100%.
Right. I think you get into more of an ethical and moral ground when it starts to like create brand new images or whatever it might be.
Right.
Right. Like
Yeah.
we're just using it to speed up the things that are kind of tedious and take a long time to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think-
that's kind of like the main use right now for AI.
Mhm.
In the future, it is going to be interesting when it actually starts cutting stuff for you. You know?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a weird world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, those are 6 tools that we use regularly and we think you should try out. I guess we can get into the conversation now. Will these tools advance so much so that you no longer need human video editors, right? I can lay off my video production staff. I can fire my freelance guy because I can just have AI do it all for me. Will we get to that point, and why or why not?
I think so. Take us for example. We are filming content for people, like actual people, and then editing it for them. I think AI will help us drastically edit faster and maybe even film faster or create ideas faster. I don't think that will be completely replaced. Oh, I don't know. It might. I was gonna say this. I really think that we might live in a world where there's gonna be completely AI content creators, like legitimate, like not people, social media influencers.
Oh
that
yeah.
are strictly AI, and they produce content, film. It's not even real.
Yeah,
it's all
music.
generative AI. Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I've actually seen social media accounts that are just AI people, and it creates the comments. It takes selfies by itself. Like,
Yeah.
that's the world we live in right now.
Yeah, totally.
But in terms of like, editing content, will it get good enough to edit everything? Let's say you film a video.
Mhm.
Will it be able to import everything and edit the entire thing, put music to it?
Yeah.
You
So
know,
give
make
it
cuts?
the raw footage.
Yeah,
Like,
raw
hey, this
footage.
is straight out of the camera, even with the bad takes, the good takes. Here's the raw footage. Here's the audio. Here's what I want it to look like, right? I want a 10-minute video edited to a rock and roll song with a good intro, solid, foundation, and a great outro. Go and do it. Do you think it'll be able to do that?
I think yes. I think it threatens our jobs.
At least the fundamentals, I think it'll
Yeah.
happen. The tough part may be like someone's specific creative style. But I mean, it will
I
be
would
able,
challenge that though.
I was about
Right.
to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it will get to that point though, because as long as you feed it like similar types of content, it will get there.
Yeah,
It'll
that, and I
understand to
think-
cut on the beats and
Yeah.
A big thing is people that want to make content is you're going to have a video editor that's strictly AI, and it'd be like talking to a person. Like if you say I want to make a video for my business, a pizza video, if I own a pizza restaurant, I have to have someone film it, obviously. Now, ideally, like
Right.
in the future, you might have just generative AI film everything for your restaurant. You give it the logos and stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's just say you have the footage filmed, right? I think that there will be a video editor AI that will take everything and edit it for you completely. And then the cool thing is that pizza restaurant owner will just go to the AI and say, I want this change. Like say he doesn't like a certain
Yeah.
shot, he'll say, change this or change the text to this. And he'll go do that. It's basically a person in a box
Yeah.
editing the video for you.
yeah, that
Yeah.
changes client work and like working with clients completely.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to, you don't have to, message back and forth. There's no like Frame.io or review software that you need to like comment on.
Just tell it
Just go
straight.
in and change it yourself.
So where do you stand then, Antonio? So Luke's on the side that we will be out of a job and replaced in 15...
I have no idea how many years.
Okay, X number of years. What do you think? What is your official stance?
I don't know. I still think people will be specific editors and filmers will be valued for their style, especially in the film industry. Now, I totally see it taking over social media and like the YouTube scene. Can totally see that happening, especially with like, upcoming creators. They don't want to spend a lot of money on editors and
Right.
or outsource it or freelance stuff, especially when you're starting out. It can be very expensive, but maybe you don't have the time to edit it yourself or you just want someone under you. But yeah, I think at some point it will take over.
Wow. I personally am somewhere in between. I think it's the age-old question. It's just like when we were getting self-checkout lanes at the grocery store. Like, is that going to put all these people out of a job? Because
Yeah,
now we have
curbside.
we have these self-checkout lanes. You don't need a cashier anymore. You can just go and scan your own stuff and stuff like that. But I do think there's always going to be a need for human creativity. And at the end of the day, I don't think that can be replicated by AI. And maybe I'm just naive in thinking that. And maybe we will succumb to the AI overlords at one point. I don't know. But I personally do like to think, there's still going to have to be a human who puts that creative element into it. There's still going to have to be somebody who monitors and, inputs and outputs from the AI. And, I still think there will be a need for human editors. I don't think that's going to change. It may change in how it's done, just like it always has, right? We used to cut film strips and then paste them together, and that's how we edited. And we developed new technology, and now we can do it, NLE, nonlinear editing. We can do it on the computer now. We can edit that way, and we adapt, and we do it that way. And now with the introduction of AI, I just think it's the next step. Okay, how can we adapt and use these tools to supplement and not replace?
Yeah, as of now, I love using it.
Yeah.
It is scary where it's headed, though.
10
Yeah.
years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
I still think of
yeah.
it now as just a jumping off point.
Yeah.
But today I think about it as I'm going to need to make a whole video really fast with AI.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. A lot was covered today.
Yeah.
Quick recap. We went over the 6 tools that we think you can implement into your editing workflow to help you become more efficient, speed them up. Those were ChatGPT, 11 Labs, Adobe Podcast, Midjourney, Adobe Generative Fill, and Autopod. We will put links to all of those in the description. Feel free to look them up on your own, try them out. Some of them are free, some of them are paid for. Download what you can, give it a shot, and look into it. Just become aware of it and see if you can implement it into your workflow and help speed you up.
Yeah, I think we might actually come back to this topic again because it's evolving so fast.
Totally.
And there's a lot more to cover.
Yeah.
I think we just skimmed the surface with a lot of this today, actually.
Very, yeah.
We'll
I mean,
look-
these are only 6
We'll
tools.
look back on this episode in like a year and
Yeah,
just be like,
oh,
yeah.
it's way better now.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in again to this podcast. Our second episode. We'll be back again in a couple weeks with a fresh new topic for you.
That's right. You know what I was thinking?
Let's pick up.
Woo! We went to raid.
Cut.
Let's try that again, shall we? What do we
Yes.
think about AI? Do you like it? You don't? I'll start with you.
Sorry.
Wait, you want me to start over again?
No. I'm gonna have to edit all of this. The GP is trained off the transcripts. Sorry.
I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry. Go start over.
Woo.
Yeah.
So, you.
This is a rough one today.
Oh boy.
That laughing is going in the intro.
Yeah, it's got to.
I'm ready. I'm not gonna crack this time. Go ahead. Crack.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So you can see I'm sharing my screen right now. What is so funny about
I'm sorry. I don't know why. Yeah. I didn't expect you to go quickly until like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna show my screen. Real quick. I think
So there's many different uses for AI. I'm just gonna show.
dude, that was great.
It is good. I see him pick it up. I just every time I go to say I'm just I want to share my screen. It's like so stupid. It'll be a lot for me to tackle all the different things I use ChatGPT for. But
He starts laughing.
He started laughing.
okay, it would be sorry. We're having a hard time. I'm gonna show just one use case for ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So you can see on my screen. I have it pulled up right here.